recent news.
That still hits hard, man. That's a
Yeah.
rock intro. Yeah. Well done, Jace. What's up, everybody? This is 1 week later to be seen. I'm Joe Dub, and with me, Billy the Pooh, and we are talking the infamous Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, the Electric Boogaloo, where we get the owl in it and a lot of other surprises. This one is a slasher film, so put the kiddies to bed. You might want to keep scrolling if you can't deal with the horrors. There's going to be a couple of some spooky, creepy images coming up, so just a little bit of a warning there. Yeah, man.
Halloween one, but still Halloween.
Yeah. We're a little late on that, but life is life, but man, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't when you work and you can't get things done on Halloween and take the kids out. So, it's a whole lot of stuff, but it's good. It's good stuff. I'm super happy to do what I'm doing and super happy to be here with you talking Blood and Honey 2. Was surprised at this one, but let's
Yes, Winnie the Pooh talks in this one. He didn't talk in the last one.
Yeah.
And they showed some of the first one in this one.
Yeah. So, well, let's get into the synopsis. Not wanting to live in the shadows any longer, Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger take their fight to the town of Ashdown, leaving a bloody trail of death and mayhem in their wake. Yeah, that was the synopsis. Let's get into the cast. I really wanted to talk about this cast because there was somebody that really surprised the crap out of me in that, and that is Alec Newman. You may remember him from the Dune TV series, and though his portrayal was pretty decent, he just can't live up to Kyle MacLachlan. Simon Callow was Cavendish, and Marcus Massey was Al. He did a good job. I thought he was creepy as AF. Scott Chambers did a great job, especially conveying the sadness he felt when he got let go from his job. As Christopher Robin, Tula Evans was Lexi, and Ryan Olivia was Winnie the Pooh, the monster himself, and Louis Santer was Tigger, and Eddie McEnany was Piglet. What did you think about the cast? I thought that was interesting to see Alec Newman. That kind of threw me.
Yeah, and also it was just interesting because it was a little bit of an upgrade from the first cast. Because
huge upgrade, huge.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like a bootleg Jason in the Woods. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, I thought the first one was more of a bootleg Michael Myers.
Okay, yeah, because he didn't really say anything. Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
but this one they decided, let's make Tigger into Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, that's definitely what I got out of Tigger. All right, well, let's talk about what worked since we're talking about the guys. All right, well, what worked for me was a little backstory that we got about why Winnie the Pooh's doing what he's doing, and how Owl's behind it. There are some magical, mystical powers out in Ashbound Woods, which was really creepy. And that stuff worked. It gave me a little bit of a mythos as to why things are happening the way they are and what's happening in the world of Winnie the Pooh. I like that they blamed everything on Christopher Robin at first, and the news media was basically like, yo, Christopher Robin with bananas and killed up everybody in the woods. And he was like, nah, for real. It was these crazy monsters in the woods. And of course, nobody believed him. And it was a fun reality of if you are under investigation for murdering someone, you probably shouldn't have a job. You know what I mean? And then, or if you're under an investigation for any type of crime, usually your company goes, we're going to need to take a little separation. And that happened. And that normally doesn't happen. In reality, we have a guy running for the highest office in the land here in America, and he's got 34 freaking indictments, and somehow he's neck and neck. I just don't get the world anymore, Billy. I just don't get the world. But those things are pretty cool. There's a sense of realism in it that you wouldn't expect in a slasher movie. You just kind of expect, oh, okay, it's just going to be chaos and death and destruction. But What about the most awesome death scene? Not awesome, but like messed up death scene. Chick gets caught on fire, thought she'd get away in the water, and just became a heaping mess. And Pooh just got her anyway. She got.
Yeah.
What did you think of the opening? I thought that was
Between that and the bear trap.
yeah, the bear trap was sick, and he just kept breaking her limbs.
Yeah.
Brutal. So what worked for you?
Well, definitely the death scenes and stuff like that. They were really going all out for the gore this time around.
Yeah.
They changed it up from the first one, and they also did make one of the other mistakes I thought with the first movie, which was in the first movie they killed off the girlfriend too early, and it felt like for some reason Christopher Robin was more freaked out about the death of some random girls than he was about his girlfriend in the first one.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. Yeah.
And then it's like this one, at least the girlfriend lived in the end.
Yeah.
Came close to dying.
Yeah, Pooh was close to that chainsaw, man. It was and he was like, "Hey, Pooh, oh bother."
Yes, oh bother! I just
oh,
love that they actually put oh bother in there. And
Yeah.
had Winnie the Pooh talking.
Yeah.
Because like the last movie, they were like, after Christopher Robin left, they never spoke again.
Yeah,
And now they're like, yeah, they're talking. Tigger's making one-liners. Tigger's completely like Freddy Krueger and eating up the scenery.
Yeah.
And Owl is doing like an acid spit.
Yeah, he was brutal in this one.
Yeah.
What do you think of the costume designs? I thought they were pretty dope in this one.
Yeah.
I thought it was a big upgrade from the first movie for sure.
I mean, they had facial expressions and stuff.
Yeah, that was really neat. I thought
they had movement and stuff like that.
Yeah. And did you watch the after credits?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought the after credits worked because it was looking like Piglet was regenerating.
Yeah, and they said that they were going to bring Pooh back. So yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to. It's not Pooh, Blood and Honey without Pooh. It's essential part
like,
of the whole
the
thing.
fact that like it makes it better because like now they're like these characters, they can all come back no matter how many times you kill them. They'll come back before the closing credits. They're back.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they need to get Owl in order to get everybody. I think he's probably like some kind of wizard. We're going to find out later on. I think he's the main one they need to get. And once they get him, then they probably all go away. And that'll be the third one. Because from what I understand, well, we'll get to that later. But yeah, that's what worked. Well, we got to go on the opposite side of that coin, baby. What didn't work? All right, Billy, I'm going to start off with you. What didn't work for Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Well, for one thing, I still think they occasionally do derivative of other horror films. There's some creativity, but there's still like some parts where I'm like, I've seen that movie before. I've seen that before. And it's like they're Disney characters. I mean, they're characters that predate Disney. They're fictional characters that are in the public domain. But they're still like, they're not just the original characters. They're knockoffs of other characters. It's like, oh, that's Freddy Krueger. That's Michael Myers. That's Jason. That's a vulture. That's, I mean, Owl. I was like, that. He looked more like a gargoyle, and his acid spit and stuff like that. I was like, that's a different villain. I've seen that character in something else.
Yeah,
and it was bothering me because I couldn't put my finger on where have I seen that character before. And he didn't look like an owl at all.
No, he looked more like, I mean, when he got that dude, well, Freddy, what is that? It's a cardinal, Daddy. Yes. And what's that bird over there? It's a seagull. And what's that bird? I don't want to play this game anymore. And he goes bouncing in the woods. And then Al comes and snatches him and then throws his body parts. And nobody gave a shit. That didn't work for me, man. I thought they were going to pick up the body parts and be like, oh, there's DNA that matches Christopher Robin because that's supposedly his brother. You know, that would have made sense, but it did just throw away. Yeah, I just wanted to chop up somebody and throw them in the water.
But I'm sorry. I also apologize to our audience if they haven't watched this thing, because
if you haven't seen this by now, like, come on.
My name is the biggest spoiler of the damn movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Billy, I did laugh at that part because of this. I was like, oh, oh shit, Billy's the bad guy. And he's like, doing the killing for a change.
I'm like, I got to do that.
Yeah, that's very fitting. That's very fitting. Yeah, I mean, that was the only thing that threw me off. The effects were still a little cheesy compared to a lot of other horror movies that are out now, but it's leagues and bounds better than the last movie. And I also felt that there was a lot more to the story in this one, believe it or not. Like this whole thing about Christopher Robin, I thought worked very well. You know, because he's kind of hiding out, so to speak, in plain sight. And he kind of rebounds pretty quick after the other girlfriend did make it. This one, he's like, it's been a couple months. Gotta move on. My goods need their good loving, so I gotta move on. The bits
learn from his first movie. Don't take the girlfriend back home to meet the family.
Yeah.
Don't go back to the 100-acre woods. That's what killed your last girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he was
thinking. Congratulations, your girlfriend lives, but your parents die.
Yeah. Yeah, and your dad was more deep, man. Should have made sure to help him out. But yeah, that's what didn't work for me. Is there anything big glaring that you were like,
Well, I was just like, well, for a lot of for some bigger deaths, it still feels like this time they at least learned to actually give them payoffs as opposed to like last time where they did them early on and then just kind of like coasted through a bunch of other random deaths.
Right.
But like the rave scene, that should have been earlier in the film too, because like that was still like, okay, what's with
that was random. Like, why was he going there? Yeah. What possessed him to go to a rave? It was like Winnie the Pooh. And why are you at the rave? You know, he just shows up with the fucking bow and starts offing people. Him and Tigger.
Yeah, him and Tigger just start like chopping people up and
it was like why?
The girl with the feather costume and stuff like that. And
yeah, but there was no. It was senseless. It was just.
Yeah, it's just there, and it's like that should have been like the hunt for Christopher Robin. That should have been like earlier on in the movie.
Yeah,
and like
when
they didn't know where he was, and Christopher Robin searching for people, because it's like they have hostages. Why are they killing random people when they have hostages?
Exactly. They've got his sister.
They have the little sister. What?
Right. Like they don't need to go and I mean, the only thing I could see is that being a nod to Hellraiser 3 when he went in the club and killed everybody in the club.
And again, another movie we saw.
Yeah, so there was a nod to that. That's what I got.
Yeah, because that's like the thing. It's like these guys were like, okay, how can we make like knockoffs of every horror movie we ever loved? Let's just take something in the public domain and just do homages to every horror film we ever made or ever saw. And it's like
not necessary.
You see it and you're like, I know that movie. I know that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But when you're talking about the mask, this Tigger mask was pretty dope. I think they did a great job on that. And then Pooh chilling in the chair. Let me tell you a story, Christopher Robin. Are we really dope if the oh bother was if they got the guy who did the voice of Winnie the Pooh to do the oh bother at the end? Like how amazing would that have been, or fucked up would that have been?
Oh, that guy's still around. That guy's
I know. That's
Jim
why
Cummings.
Jim Cummings. Yeah. Can you imagine bother?
It would be fun because I loved. Well, actually, I think it was either Funny or Die or College Humor before this fell into public domain. Did a parody of Winnie the Pooh as a horror film.
Oh wow!
And they did that like 6 years before the first Blood and Honey ever came out.
Oh wow! They beat him to the punch.
And actually, I think they even called it Blood and Honey, which is actually hilarious.
Oh wow!
So they might have actually been in a copyright violation just from
it was still got you, buddy. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, we talked about what worked. We talked about what didn't work. Well, what else is going on there? We can't really say too much about how it did in the theaters because it didn't go in the theaters, but we can talk about what's going on in the news. All right, my friends, if you thought that this was the end in part 2, well, you were wrong. Part 3 is in the works. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3. In the news, likely to simultaneously delight and appall across the cinema world, the third installment of the IP bludgeoning slasher Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey has been confirmed by Reese Frake Waterfield and Scott Chambers of the prolific horror banner Jagged Edge Productions. According to the producers, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3 will have a bigger budget than the previous films and will introduce new characters from the original Winnie the Pooh stories, including Rabbit, the Heffalumps, and the Woozles, and will no doubt be given a sadistic, murderous twists. The news comes with Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 out in U.S. cinemas as part of a 3-day theatrical run from Fathom Events just over the year of the releases, now a quick-fire 3-part franchise. Despite poor reviews, the original Pooh, Blood and Honey became an unexpected box office smash, culturally taking point in early 2023, a premise that saw AA Malign's beloved bear turn into a feral sledgehammer-wielding serial killer made for under $50,000 and earned an incredible $5.2 million globally, one of the best box office budget to box office ratios in cinema history. Well, the box office figures are yet to be released for Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. The film, with a budget believed to be around 10 times the first, has a far better received in the genre world, with many declaring it to be a dramatic step up from its predecessor, which is what we said.
Yes.
That said, Variety's own Owen Gleiberman, in his review, wrote that it was mostly shambles, although he did acknowledge that the sequel had a lot more going on, including the dismemberings and decapitations and face gougings. Featured a redesigned Pooh who now resembles a homicidal version of Jim Carrey's Grinch. Yeah, all of that's.
Oh God, I didn't even pick up on that, but yes,
I didn't
he does
even
have
pick
a
up on
Grinch
that
face.
either. But he did look like the Grinch. Maybe they used the
Just in
Grinch
time for
costume,
Christmas.
painted it
We
over,
got-
and shaved out the fuzzies.
Unintentionally, we found the perfect bridge between Christmas and Thanksgiving. Just
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah,
You can watch this, then watch the mean one, and be
Yeah.
ready for the holidays.
Yeah, all set. Your horror movies are all set. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Let's get in the final glance. All right. One of the things we discussed previously was we weren't going to talk about its rating when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, because many people have spoken. They have spoken, and they're kind of off and over Rotten Tomatoes. So we're going to go over to our friends IMDb and see how their ratings were for Blood and Honey Part 2. And they are as follows. All right, Blood and Honey 2 got an IMDb rating of 4.7 out of 10, which I think is a bit harsh,
Yeah, that's very harsh. I mean,
That's
it wasn't
very
that
harsh.
bad.
No.
I would have at least given it a 5 or a 6.
Yeah, I would give it 6. It really lost popularity because spooky season's over, so that's probably why. But I mean, with the improved everything in this, it should have definitely gotten more love. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this more than Joker 2. I would say.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Trust me.
Poor Joker.
And the acting was better. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. That's messed up.
Yeah, but Joaquin Phoenix, you did worse than Winnie the Pooh. Sorry.
Oh man, I'd rather see Winnie the Pooh than watch this crap. Oh wow, that's rough.
This is a palate cleanser after seeing Joker 2.
Jeez. Wow, that bad? Oh my God. And that was one of the movies I really looked forward to. And I was like, you know what? I don't have a job at the time. And I held off to see, wait till I got paid. And then now I can't find it in the theaters anymore because it was so bad. It just came out of the box office already. So it's going to be one of those. We'll catch it later.
But I'd still say, if you have a choice between Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or Joker 2.
I guess the 4.7 should have been Joker 2.
Yes.
Wow. That's awful. Awful. Was it Lady Gaga? Did she mess it up?
No, actually, she was one of the few saving graces.
Oh, wow.
The bad thing is that Joaquin Phoenix really can't sing.
Yeah, that I knew.
And he has more musical numbers than her.
Oh, no. Why? Who thought that was a good idea?
And also, the fact that half the movie is a recap of the first movie.
Oh man, that's dumb.
So it's a clip show movie.
Welcome to
with
Joker
musical
2.
numbers.
Wow. Well, that was a bad idea. Well,
this one, they at least had clips of the original Blood and Honey one.
Yeah.
But what they did was creative. They said that was the TV movie based off of
I
the
saw that.
story.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
that's creative. That's a better use of it than the other thing.
Yeah.
Found footage, repurposed in a way that was much better than some other movies.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for us for Blood and Honey 2. We will catch you later. Be sure to check out some of our other movies reviews, including Transformers 1, Beetlejuice 2, 30 years later. Be sure to visit our friend AJ Orsini and his uncensored mind. He's going over all things in the world of wrestling and sports, probably talking about the World Series that I didn't watch and the Yankees lost again. You know, it's funny. When I was born, the Yankees were in the World Series, and the day after I was born, they lost the World Series. So it's kind of like, rehashing that whole thing. And then, you can hang out with us in the Captain's Quadrant over on the Captain's Quadrant channel, our sister channel, where myself and the two Jasons are talking about Star Trek. We're going into Lower Decks every Friday at 9 p.m. It's a lot of fun. Don't miss the shenanigans over there on that channel, the Captain's Quadrant. What do you got going on, Billy? Anything you want to plug before we go?
Nah, right now might be bringing some. Just waiting for more movies for us to review. I've seen a few more, and as we can get back into the the winter season, they are going to start coming out with the winter releases.
Yeah, so we'll be back with more 1 week laters. So be sure you like, share, and subscribe. Do those 3 things. It means a lot. It really helps the channel. And, you do all that stuff. And you also ring that bell to make sure you're alerted to when we're popping out some new 1 week laters. That way you won't miss what we've seen and we wanted to miss. Apparently, like you with Joker 2.
I wish. I unfortunately saw it because I lost like a bowling night.
Ooh.
Yeah,
gotta get better with those strikes, Billy.
Yeah, never bet on games, and if you do, the penalties can be horrible.
Oh boy. Well, that's going to do it for us here in 1 week later. We'll catch you next time at To Be Seen.